Welcome back to Psychology with Dipali, the best destination for great content in psychology.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to learn about Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, which is one of the theories belonging to the information processing approach to intelligence. He first told about his theory and spoke about his theory in the book that he wrote in 1983, which was called The Frames of Mind, The Theory of Multiple Intelligences. And he suggested that all people have different kinds of intelligences. And to be precise, he talked about 8 types of intelligence. Let us see what kind of theory he has described in this particular book of his. In his book, he first talks about intelligence as a biopsychological potential to process information that can be activated in a cultural setting to solve problems or to create products that are of value in a culture. So if you see this definition, he is talking about a biological potential or what we have inherited, as well as a psychological potential which includes all the intellectual processes that we use to process information. So whatever information we receive, to process this we use our biological as well as our psychological potential, and all of this is activated in the cultural setting to which we belong to. So therefore, along with his theory where he is attributing the source of intelligence to not just the biological and psychological factors which are the reason for what we do intellectually, he is also attributing one another factor, which is the culture to which a person belongs. So therefore, this is similar to how Robert Sternberg had spoken about intelligence in his triarchic theory of intelligence. So according to Gardner, all human beings possess all the intelligences. So all the 8 types of intelligences that he has talked about is possessed by everybody, but in varying degrees. So some people might have a different profile of intellectual abilities where certain types of intelligences are more predominant as compared to others, and for other people it could be exactly the opposite. So therefore, each person has a very different intellectual composition. What is the sum total of any person's intellectual abilities will depend upon which abilities or which intelligences are more dominant as compared to others. So let us talk about the first kind of intelligence, which is the visual spatial intelligence. Now, the strength of this particular intelligence is to make judgments which are in the visual and the spatial sphere. So people who are strong in this particular kind of intelligence, they are very good at visualizing things. So visualizing anything pictorially is something which they really can do very well. They are very good with directions as well as maps, charts, diagrams, videos or pictures. So anything to do with the visual processing of information, where the information is also being taken in the visual format, they excel in these kind of abilities. So the person who is very strong in visual spatial intelligence will be somebody who enjoys reading, writing, very good at putting puzzles together, very good at interpreting graphs, pictures or charts, or interpreting any kind of visual data, enjoys drawing, painting, and even the visual arts. Recognition of patterns, any kind of visual pattern is something which comes very easily to them. So the kind of career choices which a person who is high in this kind of intelligence would ideally make would be somebody belonging to the field of architecture, or any kind of artist which includes all kinds of visual arts, and maybe even the kind of professions where engineering is involved, where again visualizing certain visual structures would be important. Coming to the next type of intelligence, which is linguistic verbal intelligence, the strengths of this person are language. So it could be words, it could be in terms of spoken words, or even writing. So the people who are very strong in this kind of intelligence, they are able to use words very well, not just in the spoken form but even in the written form. And they are very good at writing stories. So all kinds of writers, authors would belong to this kind of predominant ability. Memorization of information, which is especially in the verbal format, and reading. So they are very good at remembering written and spoken information. They enjoy reading and writing. They are very good at debating or giving persuasive speeches. So the person who has this strong linguistic verbal intelligence is very good at convincing others and persuading others, and not only that, will be doing very well in any kind of debate which involves the usage of this kind of verbal ability. They can explain things very well, and they also use a lot of humor when they are narrating or telling stories. So kind of choices which they would make for their career would be in anything related to writing, maybe journalism, even lawyer, where they require those verbal skills, and of course teaching. So careers like these would utilize their linguistic and verbal skills to the hilt. Third is the logical mathematical intelligence, which involves the analysis of problems and mathematical operations. So people who are strong in this kind of intelligence are very good at reasoning skills. They can recognize patterns very well, even certain abstract patterns or abstract concepts they can recognize and relate them very well. They logically analyze problems in a better way as compared to others. They can think conceptually about numbers, relationships between various concepts, and patterns. So conceptual thinking with reference to these types of abilities is very strong in these individuals. They have very good problem solving skills. They can think about any kind of abstract concept or abstract ideas very easily. They like conducting scientific experiments, and they're very good at solving complex computations. So mathematical ability is extremely strong in these kind of individuals. Therefore, the career choices which mostly you will find these individuals in would be anything related to science, mathematics, computer programming, engineering, or even an accountant. Coming to the fourth type of intelligence, which is called musical intelligence. Here, a person who is strong in this particular intelligence is very good at thinking in all kinds of musical patterns or rhythms or sounds. That is their strength. So they have a very strong sense of appreciation of music. They can recognize any kind of musical notes, rhythms, patterns, tones, and pitch, and they are very good at musical composition as well as performance. So they enjoy singing, they enjoy playing musical instruments. They sometimes might be able to play more than one musical instrument also. Recognition of any kind of musical patterns and tones is very easy for them. Even if they hear it once, they are able to reproduce the same musical pattern, tone, pitch perfectly. Very good at remembering songs and melodies which might have been heard by them even many years ago. They have a very complex and rich understanding of what is musical rhythm, what is the musical structure, and notes. So therefore, obviously, career choices most likely for such kind of individuals are in the field of music. So musician, composer, singer, music teacher, conductor of operas or orchestras. So these are the professions where you will find people who are extremely strong in musical intelligence. Coming to the fifth type, it is bodily kinesthetic intelligence, where the skill is the strength in physical movement and motor control. So those who are high on this, they are very good at any kind of body movement, performing any kind of actions which requires either a part or whole of their body, and physical control. They are able to control their movements to a very high degree. So therefore, very good sense of hand-eye coordination, even dexterity. That is the way they are able to maybe grasp objects or handle objects, or maybe perform certain exercises with certain objects. They are very good in it. So all kinds of people who are strong in this bodily kinesthetic intelligence will be people who will be good at any kind of physical activity which utilizes this skill. So dancing, sports, or creating things with one hands, because their dexterity, manual dexterity is very high. Very good physical coordination, and they prefer to remember things by doing it physically rather than by just listening to it or just watching it or seeing it. So obviously the potential career choices for such individuals are in the field where movement is involved. So dancing, builders, sculptors, actors, and sports persons. Then the sixth kind of intelligence is interpersonal intelligence, where this kind of person is very strong in the way he or she can understand and relate to other people. So people who have a strong sense of interpersonal intelligence are very good at understanding people, and the way they interact with people is definitely much better than how anybody else would interact if he or she is not high on this particular intelligence. They can assess the emotions of others in a much better way and faster. They can assess not only the emotions of others, the motivations, or the kind of desires or intentions of other people to a superior degree as compared to other individuals who are not very high on this kind of intelligence. So very good at communicating things verbally. They are also very skilled at non-verbal communication. They see situations from different perspectives because they're able to understand what others are feeling or thinking about a certain situation. Therefore, they're able to see things from different perspectives. They have a higher tendency to create very positive relationships with others, and they're very good at resolving conflicts in a group. So if there is any kind of conflict in a group, most often it is these people who will be approached for resolving those conflicts. So the kind of career choices you would find these individuals in would be a psychologist or a counselor or a philosopher, salesperson, and even politicians. Coming to the seventh type of intelligence, it is intrapersonal intelligence, where the focus is on self-reflection and introspection, thinking about oneself. And those who are strong in this, they are very good at being aware of what their own emotional states are, what are they feeling at any given point of time, what are their motivations, what are their aspirations. So they're able to understand themselves very deeply, and they enjoy self-reflection and analysis, analyzing their own behavior, analyzing why they did what they did. So analyzing their motivations is something that comes easily to them. So even things like daydreaming, where they are introspecting about their goals in life, or how they relate to others, they think about that. And they also assess their personal strength. So they evaluate themselves, what is my strength, and therefore how can I use it to possibly do well in various areas where I can use it very effectively. So they are very good at analyzing their own strengths and weaknesses. They are also very good in analyzing theories or ideas. Excellent self-awareness. Their level of self-awareness is the highest among all the other types of intelligences. And they understand the reason or the basis for their own actions, which means they understand why they did what they did, and therefore they're able to assess their motivations and feelings very effectively. Therefore, they are also able to change their behavior based on certain goals which they feel should be met by their behavior. So the potential career choices for these people would be philosophers, writers, theorists, and even scientists. Coming to the eighth type of intelligence, this is the naturalistic intelligence, which involves the skill of finding patterns and relationships to nature. So individuals who are high in this type of intelligence are very closely in tune with nature, and they are often interested in nurturing or exploring the environment, or even learning about other species. They have a natural interest to know more about anything related to the environment or nature. And even if there are any subtle changes in the environment in which they find themselves in, they can detect that and they come to know about it very fast and much better as compared to anybody else. So they are interested in subjects like botany, biology, zoology. They are very good at categorizing information or cataloging information, recording information easily. And they enjoy activities which involve them coming in close contact with nature. So activities like camping, gardening, hiking, or even exploring the outdoor. They don't enjoy learning unfamiliar topics which have no connection to anything to do with the nature or environment. And therefore the potential career choices for such individuals is most likely biology or conservationism or gardening, or even being a farmer, where you need those skills to really know more about the climate patterns as well as the crops that you are growing. Now, this is the ninth possible type of intelligence which Gardner suggested. Initially, he talked about only the 8 intelligences, but he said that there is a possibility that there is a ninth type of intelligence which he named existential intelligence. And this is an ability to delve into the deeper questions about life or even existence. So, this is a kind of an overall ability where the person who is very good in this kind of existential intelligence will contemplate or think about or analyze about the big questions about life, or big questions about topics like what is the meaning of life, what is the impact of our actions on certain aspects in the environment, and what is the long term impact of actions that we do today, and maybe the impact would be seen many years or many more years later. So therefore, what kind of impact do our actions have, and what kind of actions will help to achieve the larger goals of humanity? Those are the kinds of thinking patterns which are very strong in people with this kind of intelligence. So they have a long term outlook. They consider how the current actions will influence future outcomes. So they're able to think far ahead, and they are interested in questions about what is life, what is death. They have a very strong interest and concern for others, basically humanity in general, and they can see things from an outside perspective as if they are an external factor, and they are able to have a bird's eye view about life in general, and about how what actions we perform generally lead to the kind of impacts that we see in people as well as in their lives in and around us. So therefore, to recap the kind of intelligences that we have talked about till now, we have the logical mathematical intelligence, where you have abstract reasoning to be the main thing, where scientists and mathematicians would be strong on it. Spatial intelligence, where sculptors and architects would be strong on it. Interpersonal intelligence, psychologists, politicians would be strong on it. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence, where athletes, dancers would be good in this kind of intelligence. Musical intelligence, musicians, composers, or anybody in the field of music. Linguistic verbal intelligence, that is poets, writers, authors. Intrapersonal intelligence, self-awareness would be the main skill here, leading to a person good in philosophy as well as thinking about life. And the naturalistic intelligence, where the focus would be on nature and the environment, and therefore botanists and zoologists would be the people who would be strong in this kind of intelligence. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and share my channel Psychology with Dipali. You can also follow me on Instagram, and keep learning new things. It's bye from me for now.